honestly, we're disappointed. It hurts both players, but it hurts our team. And I think at the end of the day, when both Bobby and Nico digest it and look at it, they'll understand the position they put their teammates in.
Would we have handled the situation differently? Maybe, I don't know. But we never thought what happened when the line was crossed. We just didn't anticipate, obviously, that would happen in this situation. So you can always look back, sure, but again, these guys have been competing at the highest level with each other, and the important thing at the end of the day is how much these guys have walked off the floor together. And again, we need to get that back heading in, and I'm confident we will.
All right, so you heard John Paxson. We know what went down yesterday. What is your guys' take on what this does to this team going forward for this season?
Well, this season is kind of written off anyway. They're going to lose probably 60 games. It makes it a lot more difficult.
But as long as it's not a carnival atmosphere.
Well, you can't allow that to happen. And I think, it's very difficult to assign responsibility here beyond the two guys involved, although you'd like to have a head coach that would, have create an atmosphere that has a deterrent. But look, this is between Bobby Portis and Mirotić, and it escalated, and it was bad, and I think both sides were responsible. They can't let this fester. They can't let this create another skirmish or cliques to be formed and divisiveness to be. You can use this two ways. It can split a team apart, or it can bring people together. They've got to use that as a unifying, thing right now.
See, here's what happens when you don't have alphas. You don't have any alphas.
There's not one alpha
anymore.
there.
No one's there to kind of break this thing up. David and I spent time covering Bears teams that had, Olin Kreutz and Fred Miller fighting. You had Thomas Jones punch Cedric Benson in a year where a team wins the Super Bowl. And look, the Bulls are not that good. This is a lost year for them. I appreciate the Bulls trying to get out in front of this, John Paxson making himself available, but it's just another bad look for them. It's a franchise that just consistently over the last decade gives you bad look after bad look after bad look. And this is another disaster for them as a franchise.
How soon can they trade one of them?
Not real soon. I don't know that
you're not trading them. Banged up Nico.
He's damaged right now, and Bobby Portis, I don't know that there's going to be
Bobby is well respected by his team.
That's the thing that's really interesting here.
Well, then you do trade or find somebody that will in the NBA.
Well, Phil,
if the guy can play, nobody's going to care. He just got punched out.
Do you believe that they can't play together? That
yes.
These guys can't coexist?
Well, if it's a washed out development year, you don't start with this.
Look,
and are they both going to be long-term pieces?
Bobby Portis could be. He's a first-round draft pick. If he was the 15th guy in this roster, he'd be gone, I think.
Then you trade the veteran that somebody would take.
The veteran that you probably didn't want anyway. The veteran that
you talking about Nico?
Yeah.
Well, why'd they give him a 2-year deal?
They waited, though. They said
go
on out there
Shop
and see
yourself.
what type of deal you can find. And then when you don't find a deal, we have this little deal here right in front of you. And he had to take it because no one else wanted it.
Let me say this, though. I don't know that that's necessary. These are pro sports. You mentioned the Bears. Fred Miller and Olin Kreutz worked together on the same offensive line for 3 years after that happened.
The Bears went to the Super Bowl after having that thing with Thomas Jones and Cedric.
They worked it out.
Once you take a breath, once you take a deep breath, once you take a step back, and you remove the emotion from it, these are professionals. Be a professional.
Well, right, that's what Olin and Fred did. They
this.
may not have hung out, but they played together.
What's the average age on their roster? And going forward, it's going to get even younger, and you want to show those guys, you want to create a culture for those guys.
Right.
And I don't think this shows that you're going to have that with these guys, and I think that's an important piece of what they're doing
this can go one of two ways. When you have an argument, when you
fracture you or bring you together.
Yeah, it can divide everybody, or this can be a tremendous learning tool.
All right, one other big note in Chicago sports today. Our friend Eddie Olczyk, the best in the business, who is undergoing a battle with colon cancer right now, is returning to the airwaves tonight on our sister station, NBCSN, Blackhawks Blues in St. Louis. He'll call the Blackhawks game with Edmonton tomorrow night for WGN TV, and then he goes back in on Monday for another 48-hour round of chemo. Hearing him on with Pat Boyle, I heard them taping an interview, talking to Eddie earlier today. It is so awesome to see him so excited, like he's a rookie making his debut.
It's great. He said it was the best medicine he's had so far. It's even better for the viewers. It's better for everybody that loves Eddie and is so glad to see him back. Expected a longer layoff. And look, he's in the middle of a battle. He'll be very honest about that. But this step is so important for everybody.
Also, the Breeders' Cup right around the corner.
Yes, he'll be gambling on it, I can promise you that.
Because there's a guy with great picks.
All right, we've got to take a timeout. We'll come back, and a little bit more to do here on Sports Talk Live. Don't forget our pregame show starts at 7 o'clock. Low after the Bears' first win with Mitchell Trubisky continues to shine at Hallis Hall. How will the rookie fare this week when the Carolina Panthers and their top 5 defense rolls into Soldier Field?